Sometimes it can be something like, does anybody know, like if you had to guess, like where is the green roofs capital of the United States, right? So there's this whole movement to put green roofs on buildings. It's very sustainable, very environmental. I could not tell you where it is, but if you read any newspaper article about it, I almost guarantee you that they will talk about the green roof that Chicago put on top of City Hall, right? Every article that you read about green roofs. Does Chicago have more green roofs than anybody else? I have no idea, but there's a perception that they do because they've created sort of an example of leadership there. So when you put those 5 things together, and you can look at Silicon Valley or Hollywood or the financial services industry in New York, in a lot of sectors, those are the things that you're looking at when you're looking at is your region going to be successful. So if you're looking at clean tech, or you're looking at high tech, or digital media, or any of these things that we're looking at right now, each one of them, those 5 things are going to be a little bit different. So just to give you an example, and then you dive sort of deeper into each one of those. Just to give you an example, on the talent side, LA actually does quite well. We graduate more engineers in Los Angeles than any other region in the United States. So our local universities graduate more engineers. Our problem is we lose more of them as well.
If they would just not take $100,000 jobs at Google, we'd have more talent.
Well, as long as they did $100,000 jobs at Google in Venice, as opposed to Google in Mountain View. But we lose a lot of them. So we lose quite a bit of our engineering talent to other areas. So we have that foundation. And if you look across lots of different sectors, we actually have a lot of those strengths here in the Los Angeles area. And think about, if you want to think about things happening here in Long Beach, for example, the Port of Long Beach and the Port of Los Angeles are pioneers globally in sustainable transportation technology. So clean technology that relates to moving goods through a port. So stuff about rail, stuff about trucks, stuff about ships, things like that. There is a huge opportunity because government is sort of these government entities are doing so much R&D and regulation in that area. There's a huge opportunities for companies, and many companies have started to cluster in the harbor area that focus on those type of technologies that then can be sold to the rest of the world. So just finding where your strengths are by looking at those 5 factors is, whatever region you're in and whatever sector you're looking at, can give you a sense of whether you're really going to be successful vis-a-vis other countries. I don't know, should we move on? I have some other things I could say, but I don't want to.
That's a great introduction, because I want to come back to that a little bit more. So we've got the 5 ingredients. There should be no reason why we don't have that giant hairball that's sitting up there in Silicon Valley on a map. So we want to come back and talk about that. There's been a lot of discussion today as well about this whole issue about triple bottom line, double bottom line, sustainability, making sure that there's some kind of profound impact on the community. I mean, ultimately that gets to community improvement and quality of life. Carrie, can you talk about that a little bit? And then I want to talk about, that's a model that I think is that you're putting in place, and I think that's something that we should share with the audience. And then I want to talk a little bit about why investors then aren't jumping at that constantly and why that isn't up there. So why don't we start with you, Carrie, and let's have you kind of run us through what that means.
Sure. So, so for any innovation community to thrive and be a sustainable community, you have to have all the factors that Sean mentioned. And when it comes to the context of triple bottom line, I mean, this is a term that's actually not new at all. It's been around since John Elkington coined it in 1997.